Hello everyone and welcome to Best Side Cycling. Today is super exciting as I'll be featuring footage from my first ever free Cascade group ride. This is the East Side Hills series that runs on Saturday and it's a vigorous pace, which means 18 to 20 miles per hour on the flats, and everyone really is really quick. So this is definitely the fastest group ride that I've ever tried to participate in, and we'll see how it goes. But more about this route first. So this is downtown Bellevue and we're basically connecting to the I-90 trail using 101st Avenue and Killarney Way. This is opposed to using 108th Avenue, and the main difference is that this one is sort of using back roads and it's definitely a lot more climby with a lot more gradients than the other options. So it could be a nice alternative if you're looking for that, but you'll soon see what that looks like exactly. But the topic of this video is sort of my experience as a extreme lightweight rider. So I'm just under 50 kilograms, and I know that's really light, and on the descents here I really have no chance of catching up with most people. Just not pedaling or anything. The only way I can really maintain pace is if I put down a lot of power and I'm like right tucked behind someone, which is not something I'm going to do on the descent, especially on a free group ride. So fortunately though, we make it to the main hill for this sort of route. This is a segment that goes for 200 feet with the 8.8 average gradient for 0.44 miles. So it's pretty proper steep, and I'm sort of spinning out now, putting down all the watts I can and make it to the middle of the pack. And in fact, I think I've passed by most of it. There's a couple of lead out people in the front that I have no chance of catching up with anyway, but I'm sort of through and I'm going hard because I know that this climb isn't the longest one and I can just sort of see. But this is an experience for me that happens often. Just using sort of my natural talent, I guess, as a climber, just taking advantage of that and going for it. And I mean, I'm not sure if being a lightweight rider is what makes me something that makes me a climber. I think there's something else about it too. I think, sure, it could be a positive feedback loop of like feeling like I'm doing something that I'm strong in and just improving on it. But I don't know. I think for me, as a rider that is not that much about racing and going fast, the idea of climbing over hills is something that appeals to me. It's something that is a lot more about the mentality and sort of the feeling of going through that and then finishing is what appeals to me the most. So it's really weird for compared to most riders' mentalities where they probably enjoy the descents. My favorite part about a hill is the actual going upwards part of it. But anyway, this sort of experience as well of sort of yo-yoing with people is very common. Like on bigger group rides, I'll often pass the same riders on the hills, and then later they will catch me up on the descent. And that just sort of repeats over and over again until there's a big enough climb for me to get a break, or it just flattens out and we just sort of keep our relative places. But we can see here the climb is just about over. It's still really proper steep. We're always hitting all these lower teen gradients, but right around this bend, the climb basically is done. And this is a pretty long first descent. The main thing to watch out for here, and this is actually my first time riding this route. I've been meaning to go here for a long time, but just never found an opportunity to. So it's neat to do this on a group ride. But this is a good long descent, but there are a couple speed bumps. They're not super big or anything, but I definitely took a little easy. As you can tell, the first of the riders have passed me, but actually what ends up happening in this video is that basically the whole pack passes me now, especially now with this big long descent. I'm not the type to just try to slam it down these roads, especially ones I haven't been on. And yeah, that just leads to me to having this vicious decision where I'm not at that high velocity and not able to carry my pace through to this next main roller. So basically tons of the group is just going by me now using that well paced momentum. And I mean, that's just a strategy that you should do in general. Definitely in terms of if you're doing hillier routes, making sure you use any momentum you can is a big part of it. And that was basically on me. Moreover, from being a lightweight rider, I'm sort of a very risk adverse rider. So I don't take descents very fast to begin with, and I don't take many risks. So this puts me in this sort of position, but nonetheless, I'm still going through this now. And if you enjoyed this video, please roll the like button and subscribe. We cover all types of Seattle routes and sort of my own cycling journey and a lot of climbing videos because that's what I enjoy. So if that sounds good to you, ring that bell icon for more. But we're continuing along here, and basically as this transitions onto Killarney Way, it's just sort of a little bit windy on these back roads with some rollers, and it's pretty enjoyable actually, as the traffic here definitely is a lot lower compared to something like 108th where you can expect to be passed. Traffic here is definitely a lot more manageable, and for some, I think this type of route would be a nice change of pace and a lot of fun. But yeah, but in terms of the other aspects of being lightweight rider, I think in terms of the flats portions of the ride, I was actually more or less able to keep in pace with folks, especially if I was in the draft. Lightweight riders also do have traditionally, compared to sort of similarly, I mean, fit people at a higher weight, you're just not going to generate as much power. And on the flats, that's what really matters. Power to a large part, and then your aerodynamics once you get beyond a certain speed. And the aerodynamics, of course, maybe as a small rider, it does sort of go in my favor, but I think in general, the person who makes the bigger watts will go fast on the flats. But it's manageable, I would say, at least for this ride. And in general, it's just really on any sort of decline where I really have no chance of riding together with folks, which is sort of funny when you think about it. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this route and going through. And I don't know if that was the whole group, but I think that was sort of a big lion's share of the group that's gone past me now, and I'm just sort of riding up to catch up. But luckily, this group ride does regroup, and they're all up here now. And that's all I had for this video. So I'll see you all in the next one.